As you should know by now, we have been running this high-mileage Tesla Model S with nearly 500,000 miles on the clock. We've done a range test, we've done a full battery health check, and we put it head-to-head against the brand new electric car to find out how well or how badly electric cars age. We're now at the end of our time with the car. As a reminder, its 430,000 mile battery still has a 72% state of health, and the car will do around 190 miles on a single charge on the motorway. So it's impressive, but there's still a lot more to discuss with this car, including what happens when the battery does go wrong. To find out, I decided to have a chat with someone who sees broken EV batteries on a daily basis, Kevin Pierce from Cedar Electric, a company specializing in the repair of high voltage EV components. One of the things that we're trying to show people is that used EVs aren't necessarily a ticking time bomb. How often have you had to actually replace a battery pack with a new one because the battery's gone wrong?
For new, we haven't yet replaced one for a new battery pack. So out of all the batteries or the vehicles that we've had in with faults inside the battery, we generally will offer a repair. Our main focus is to try and find an alternative solution to replacement. You know, these vehicles are meant to be green, good for the economy, good for the climate, and just simply replacing packs out, as far as we're concerned, isn't the best solution for anything, especially not the customer's wallet.
So in relation to some of these horror stories that people hear about going to a dealership when their EV battery has suffered some sort of problem, being charged £20,000-30,000 to rectify that, why is that? Why is that happening? Why are the manufacturers charging people so much money?
My understanding is that a lot of the manufacturers, one, they need to be able to guarantee that repair. So, and I completely understand that. So BMW, as one example, on a 330e hybrid, if you have one module that has failed, they will tell you have to have a complete set of modules replacing in the battery. Now, the reason for that, they can guarantee there's no way that that's going to go wrong. They'll be able to put 5 new modules in it, balance them all out, and that pack will be as like a new pack, effectively, at that point. That's great. However, the cost of doing that for the customer can be upwards of £6,000-7,000, sometimes more. Whereas here, we'll strip that pack, test all of the modules, and then we will use a green module to, if you've got one module that's faulty, we'll test the others and we'll put an equivalent in because we've got a good stock offering of used. We'll put another one in that's equal to the rest. So the pack can stay balanced and work absolutely fine. Now, they're offering, we believe, whether that's, so BMW do offer to be able to repair your battery. Porsche do, some simply don't. Tesla do not offer a repair, they'll offer an exchange battery or a new battery. There's Nissan are exactly the same, so they don't offer a repair of that battery pack that we're aware of anyway. Now, I don't know whether that's because for them to offer a repair process, that has to be widely available through all of their dealerships. And whether that's something that it's very hard to roll out that level of skill set to be able to do those repairs and guarantee them without anything coming back as well. Whereas for them, I would assume it's a lot easier for them just to have a battery pack in stock, take one out, put one in, and then send that pack back somewhere else for it to be repaired in a place that just does the battery repairs.
So what I'm hearing then, Kevin, is that basically these manufacturers are almost sort of running before they can walk. They're giving us these amazing electric cars, but they don't necessarily have the ability to repair them in an agile way. They're, in some cases, having to give us brand new battery packs at great expense when that's not always necessary. You know, people can go to people like yourselves and get a really low cost fix, but they haven't got that network available to them just yet to offer that same flexibility in repairing their EVs.
People talk about infrastructure when it comes to electric vehicles, and I think most people, when they think of infrastructure, think of the charging systems and whether we're going to be able to charge, everyone can charge their cars. I think that the main thing that's missing in the infrastructure of electric vehicles is exactly what we're doing here, and the skill sets that are required to repair these vehicles and the access to the components that we require to repair these vehicles in a cost-effective and green way. If they're not going to sell us the components so that we can actually repair them, and every customer is then getting given bills for 15, 20, 25, 30,000 pounds, as you mentioned earlier, then that's going to just keep putting people off. If they would open up access so that we can, when we get a vehicle that comes in with a particular fault, if I could buy that component straight off of the shelf, that's going to save a lot of money, a lot of waste, a lot of transportation costs, a lot of fuel being wasted in remaking these things. That would make a big difference. However, the route that we've gone down with green parts and being able to test everything, I think is a very good middle ground for now.
Yeah, you make a good point about green parts. A lot of people do think about buying brand new replacement batteries when an EV dies, and that's where these big numbers and scare stories sometimes come from. But if you look at it in parallel with the ICE industry, if the B58 engine on my BMW blew up one day, I'm not necessarily going to drop £10,000 on a brand new B58 engine to replace that directly. I'm probably going to look at getting a used one, as a lot of people might. So perhaps we need to start looking at that for EV as well.
Again, go back to ICE vehicles. You're an exactly perfect example there. Your engine goes from that. You are looking at a £10,000 to £15,000 bill. Now, whether that's strip and rebuild or a new engine, you're still going to be up in those type of numbers. On a battery pack, we're in exactly the same world. So people are chomping at that, oh, if it needs a whole new battery. And it's because, unfortunately, the manufacturers have kind of led people down that route. But if they can be repaired, and it's new technology, they would imagine for the first year that an iPhone was released, people weren't replacing screens or batteries in them when they failed. But as that technology's been around longer, you find more and more people like us that actually do try and find cheaper repair solutions for the customer.
Okay, so earlier you said to me that you've never had to replace a damaged EV battery with a brand new one, that you typically do battery repairs and not replacements. So what does it cost to do these battery repairs, which are far more common than replacements?
Yeah, so a few examples. The Range Rover Hybrid is a common battery fault that we find. We have a repair solution for that we can offer. Now, we repair the battery that's in your vehicle, and that's about £5,000. The current price, or the last price I heard of from a Range Rover dealership, was £22,500 for the battery, plus whatever they're going to charge for fitting. On that, we're saving customers £15,000-20,000. The Tesla battery overhaul that we offer starts at £5,200. Now, again, the cheapest that I'm aware of from Tesla is their exchange pack at £14,000, and then it goes upwards from there. We've actually had a few of their exchange packs come that we've had to repair. So they obviously fit exchange packs whilst they're in warranty. Once they've come out of warranty, then we repair them as well. So their exchange is not too dissimilar to our overhaul. But the price is obviously a big difference.
Kevin, thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it, yeah?
No problem.
So in summary, sorting out a battery fault will be expensive if you go directly to the manufacturer. If the car's under warranty, then the price is fairly irrelevant. It'll be done at no cost to the owner. But if you're outside of warranty, then getting a repair from an independent company rather than a full replacement from a manufacturer could be a cheaper option. In the case of a plug-in hybrid, the price for getting you back on the road could drop from around $22,500 to $5,000. For a Tesla, instead of paying $14,000 and up for a replacement pack, Cedar Electric's solution of swapping out faulty modules is just £5,200. Another reassuring reason to consider a used EV.
Okay, so this is a battery out of a Generation 2 Model S. This is a complete pack, obviously lid off. It's made up of 16 modules. And each module is made up of individual cells. If you have one cell that fails, generally from our experience, and now that we've got a good stock level of these modules, it's better to replace a complete module, make sure that it's testing equal to the rest of the pack, balance them all out, and install a complete module rather than replacing at cellular level. So this is part of the battery out of a Porsche Panamera. This particular one has come in with water damage. The panoramic drains on the vehicle had actually failed or blocked, which then caused a flood in the boot. And unfortunately the battery is situated there. Ended up with severe corrosion on the bottom of one of the modules, which has had to be replaced with a new module, but without having to replace the whole pack. So this particular vehicle had been to Porsche and been diagnosed by them. Now that particular Porsche dealership did recommend them to come to us for a battery repair, as their only solution that they were allowed to offer was a replacement battery. So that's why the customer came down to this site, and we are offering him a much more cost-effective solution.
As you might have seen in a previous episode, you can also get some reassurance as to the health of the battery pack by getting a health check, which tells you how badly the battery has degraded, how the battery compares to other vehicles of a similar age, and also a very accurate estimate of the kind of range you can expect. After getting this check and a certificate, you can even choose to buy a warranty that covers many components against failure, up to a certain amount, including the battery. How do we sum up this experience then? Well, before going into this test, I really wasn't sure what it would be like to live with a high mileage used EV. But I have to say, from a personal perspective, I feel much more reassured. Especially now that I know that battery health checks are possible, replacements aren't always essential, and that battery repairs are an option. And the final point is how much of an eye-opener this whole experience has been for me, and I hope for you as well. We've learned that far from being junk, this thing still offers very, very decent performance comparable to even new EVs and certainly new internal combustion engine cars. It's still got comparable range to many new EVs, and there's really nothing wrong with it that a couple of hours in a body shop and a bit of TLC and elbow grease won't fix. On the whole, yeah, this thing has been an absolute trooper, and I hope it continues to be for its owner because it served him exceptionally well. Right, I hope you learned a lot. I certainly have. Let us know if you have any comments, any queries, leave them down below in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this, then give us a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.